Hi, welcome back. Day 2, Hang 10, and we have Mr. Procopio again from Lakeside Middle School. He's back with us. You may remember both of us from yesterday. I'm Alicia DeCeppo, the district's digital literacy and learning specialist, and today we're talking about something super important, especially now because this is such a new way that we're approaching how we're learning. So we're going to talk today about staying organized digitally, and I'm going to share some things that I've created for myself and you can copy for yourself, and then we'll get some advice from Mr. Procopio, and then we'll take it from there. As always, if you have any questions, you can throw them in the chat and we'll try to address them. But if not, there is a link below on the YouTube page, and there's a link to my templates. If you go back to yesterday's video where Mr. Procopio walked us through how we can access the school counselors' websites and stuff, there's a link to that website, and there is a link in every single day how to access the special website for you to get some ed tech help at home. So let's just dive right in. Even though obviously technology is a huge part of my position, I love just a handwritten weekly overview, Mr. Procopio. I love just to do it this way. So one of my little templates that I have is just broken down by week, and then you can print it or you can just add little text boxes and add your own. And I like to just truly list what I have to do, and you'll see I have, obviously I love a good post-it too, but I also color code it with my pen. So for example, purple may be a digital meeting that I have to attend, pink might be an activity I've got to complete. So I try to do it that way. That's a very simple way that you can organize your week. Some other ways you can do it are by using Google Jamboard. So here's Google Jamboard. These are all in the folder. You can copy them, and I'll show you how in a second. And then there's 5 slides, one for each day of the week. You can simply grab a little digital post-it right here, and you can throw something up there. So Monday morning, I know I might have my morning meeting at 8 a.m. I can color code them as well. So yellow could be something you have to attend. Orange might be something you have to study. Green might be maybe an assessment you've got to complete. Pink might be a project. You can kind of get creative with how you approach it. And then, of course, resize and drag them around and add links and all kinds of stuff to personalize it for yourself. And then finally, the other template that I wanted to give you was I kind of do this in 2 different ways. So I did it 2 ways for a reason. This one, you can come in here and customize it. You can change your subjects over on the left, type in your own, and then these are just simple checkboxes. You can say on Monday for language arts, I need to read chapter 1, I need to take quiz, and I can go and type what I have to do through there. You can also, I always talk about color coding because I feel aesthetically, visually, it helps me kind of organize my own thinking and seeing where I have to go. So you could easily come here and then in yellow, color code the things you've got to read. In purple, color code the tests and quizzes, and do whatever you need to do to make it more understandable for yourself. But then I did it by subject for you folks out there, just thinking that might be what you like. I know the agendas kind of work that way, but something that I like to do, I listen to this podcast about productivity, and it's so great for students, for teachers, for working professionals, for whoever needs it. You can actually schedule your day by time. So I know Mr. Procopio is going to talk about our school schedules in a minute, and I know if your parents show you there was a YouTube video with our superintendent and assistant superintendent, Mr. Trangone and Dr. Moore, and they kind of walk through some sample schedules, and I'm sure your teachers will push all of this out to you in greater detail. But you can actually sit down and say what you need to accomplish each hour of the day. So for example, if from 8 to 9, I know I need to work on my social studies project that week, I can't touch anything else. So from 9 to 10, I might be moving on to my geometry homework, but I need to make sure, as badly as I want to get to geometry, I've got to stay in the hour that I'm in, and that will increase my productivity. And I think for me, I don't know about you, Mr. Procopio, but one of the things that really helps me is sitting down either the night before, maybe a Sunday night, and doing the whole week, or maybe each night giving myself 5 minutes, or just maybe 5 minutes in the morning to really lay out my day and think about what I have in store. Sometimes I feel that really helps me be more productive.
So that's definitely helpful, and especially for especially for the students when they're looking at their schedules now, how the times are going to be built out in virtual learning, virtual timing is going to be different in regards to when students are going to have time after the normal school day to get their things done. Everyone has different things going on at home. Parents have different times as far as jobs are concerned. So we understand that. So again, the times, I really like using the times as well as the days that Alicia just showed us on that template. And what that would do is if you don't have, someone at home to help you from certain times and you're not comfortable doing that work, you can build your schedule and when you want to do that work around what works best for you and what works best for your family. So understanding that and using that is super, super important. That's why I really like that timeline, because again, just like when you said you give yourself 8 to 9 for a certain assignment or for a certain subject matter, what happens is when you're done, you may use that extra time, if you have it, to review some of your work, to take some time and relax, because it's also important to make sure that when you're building your schedule, you're building times in for breaks for yourself, for your parents, for your families, for your grandparents. We want to make sure that you guys aren't overworking as well. And by using this schedule and using these different templates, you're really going to be able to break down your day a lot more effectively than you would if you were just trying to go through it without understanding. Now, one big thing that Alicia just touched on, I really think it's important to sit down and map out your day, but I also think it's important to make sure you take time at the end of each period, whether it's before you log into the next meeting, or if your teacher gives you a few minutes at the end of your Zoom for that class. If you do have something due, write it down right away, whether it be on one of the templates and you put it under the different subject matters, or whether you just put it on a virtual, we're going to talk about virtually, organizing yourself throughout your Google Classroom in a little bit. So all of these different things, making sure that you have what you need to do written down at the end of every period, because again, you don't have a physical agenda right now that the school has given you. So even if you had your own little agenda that you bought at Walmart or Target, or if you just use a piece of paper, the way I like to explain it is digitally. I use my calendar. I tell my students that is my virtual agenda. I still like to write things down just like Alicia does, but I also keep it virtually as well. So it's important about finding what works best for you. If it's best virtually for you and you can keep things online and you can keep a calendar going there, that's awesome. If it's more comfortable for you to write things down, that's fine too. We just want to make sure that you use what's best for you.
Awesome. And then another thing too, I should have mentioned is with 3rd through 12th graders, we talk about calendar. I know I love my calendar too. With Google Classroom, like they have a built-in calendar. So like here's myself, I'm a student in these 3 sample classes and I can see I have these activities that are due on different days. And even if I click on the calendar, I can actually see like what activities I have due, what I have kind of, it's laid out for me. And then just by what Mr. Procopio was saying, like being able to lay it out after each period and stuff. You mentioned like having a piece of paper. You could also, if you don't have paper around, like I do love paper, you could open just a blank Google Doc and like call it like Alicia's journal. And I could like just type down little things I've got to think about throughout the day. And then as I'm planning for the future, keep revisiting it. And like, I don't know about you, Anthony, but for me, like the things I've tried, sometimes they don't work and I have to like reevaluate and adjust. And the first couple of weeks, like you're going to have some flexibility to get comfortable and kind of build your own routine that like works for you, for your family, and with your school schedule.
Definitely. And your teachers are also going to look to try and help you out within building that own routine within your classes, whether it be in the start of the day with having the same routine every morning, whether it be, especially with virtual learning, getting up, opening your laptop, checking your email, filling out a social and emotional piece. We're looking at all of this and we're also taking into consideration that that's going to take some time as well. So understanding that this is going to be, you are going to need to work with your teachers for the first week or so until you get comfortable, just like you would in a normal classroom. You have that, you have that period to make sure, okay, I know this is what's going to happen. I know this is what's going to happen. Excuse me. And as far as schools with the A-Day, B-Day, I see that we have a comment in the chat with regards to the schedules. That's actually something we could bring up. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm actually going to show, for an example, our we have a tab for what our Lakeside virtual schedule currently looks like. So this is just for Lakeside at the moment. I do not know, I don't want to speak out of turn if this is for the rest of the district, but for an example, is we're doing periods 1, 2, 3 straight through to period 9. They're doing in half-hour increments so that they will be able to follow a normal schedule throughout the day. So we want to make sure if they do have A day, B day, if they have something first period that they'll be switching back and forth, they will be able to switch back and forth between the classes. So if they do have something on their schedule and it's on an A day, B day, it'll be directly on there. So that's in regards to the virtual schedule. And again, we wanted to show this. I just wanted to give an example because something like this is going to show, how a schedule is going to work, how you may be able to organize yourself around what your classes are and what's going on. And then the other thing too, just one last thing that we wanted to show is just how to keep organized within a Google Drive. Oh, excuse me, I'm in a classroom where the lights are automated. So within Google Drive, this is where a lot of your information is going to be kept. This is where you're going to be doing your assignments. You can see I have different folders as to what's going on within my different classrooms, the website that we are building, if there's an incident that occurred. But for you guys, you can make your folders. If you right click, there's an option for new folder. We can click on that and I'll just make a sample language arts. And then within your language art, I can click on this folder. And then now all of my information that I need for language arts, I can do the same thing. You don't have files, you can add new file, you can add a new folder. If you want to even break it down further, you can upload files, you can add a Google Doc, your sheets, your slides. So if there's things that you're working on with each class, I really suggest within your own Google Drive to go through and build folders that are going to allow you the chance to keep yourself organized virtually. So just want to make sure if you guys have any other questions, toss them in the chat. We'll try and get to them. Just like Alicia was saying, there's a lot of the information in the links below. So make sure to check them out as well. They'll be able to go through the templates. All of them will be available to you guys. And then everything that you just saw in regards to clicking through, we also have that as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
And we'll also be doing another session. We have quite a few guests lined up, and they're going to dive in a little bit further to Google Drive. And then if you absolutely can't wait, that's awesome. You can jump on Google Drive at any time, of course. And then if you go to this link right here, tinyurl.com/MPS Help at Home, we've got plenty of EdTech resources. So all of the tools that students are expected to use in grades 3 through 12, also pre-K to 2, but this is geared towards 3 to 12. They're available for you to review. Other than that, thank you, Anthony, for being here again. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for joining us live, and all the folks watching us later, thank you. We'll be live every day, counting down for the new school year, 10 days, 10 a.m., 10 minutes, sometimes longer. And then it's, of course, recorded. You can watch it anytime. Thank you all for being here.
And thank you. And we will be checking the comments. So if you do have questions over on YouTube, if you watch it later, please feel free to add them. We will check them there and try and answer them as well.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.